Ciao ragazzi, I'm Danilo and welcome back to another video. Today's video is dedicated to the device that divides guitar players all around the world. Some love it, some hate it. But in any case, it's fundamental and absolutely necessary for all professional guitarists. Yes, even at Slash level. I'm talking about in-ear monitors. After years of live situation where the monitoring and as a result the performance was meh, I decided it was time to put an end to that once and for all with the ultimate solution: in-ears. But not just any in-ears, the badly made ones that makes you feel like you have a knife in your ears as soon as you play a note. I'm talking about true professional in-ears, the kind the best artists use on big and international stages. In my search for the perfect in-ears, I found NTS Audio, a brand from Milan here in Italy that does an incredible work. Since my friend Riccardo from Febbre da Chitarra had already made a video about them, I asked for his opinion and then got in touch with the guys at NTS myself. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. In-ears take away the magic of stage volume, the feeling of the air pushing against your legs, and the warmth of the audience. True, and that's why most guitar players aren't fans of them. I get it, but the truth is, in-ears are becoming the only possible options more and more often. On a big stage, for example, relying only on your cabinet or your wedge is nearly impossible. Move just a little bit and suddenly you can't hear yourself anymore. Imagine stepping out to the front of the stage for a guitar solo and panicking because the singer's wedge doesn't even have your guitar in it. Here's a little story from last year. I was lucky enough to talk to Slash. Yes, that Slash. I know. After his concert in Paris, he told me that even he, who had never used in-ears before, is now using them on tour. Why? Logistics, stage volume, and above all, sound quality for the audience. And if even Slash has to use them, there's definitely a reason. That being said, it doesn't mean you have to use in-ears exclusively for the rest of your life, but you can be sure they are the one constant you can always rely on. Plus, you can use them for recording in the studio, listening to music, and more musicians are adopting them for streaming on Twitch, because they are comfortable and high quality. For example, this coming January, I'll have a very special experience, which unfortunately I can't reveal yet, where I'll be playing without a band and without a real stage. In a situation like that, there would have been no way to hear the backing tracks or my own guitar without in-ears. So, back to the present. After getting in touch with the guys at NTS Audio, they invited me to Milan to their lab to make my own custom in-ears. And let me tell you, what an experience. By the way, I should point out right away that they ship worldwide, so even if you can't travel to Milan in person, it's not a problem. They had super futuristic machines, I listened to John Mayer with an incredible quality, I drove them crazy choosing materials for the shells, they injected me a liquid big bubble gum into my ears and I couldn't hear a thing. But let's go step by step. This is Alessandro. He welcomed me into the NTS studio, which is absolutely stunning. Modern, super organized, with different dedicated rooms. For example, there's a room where you can try their models with a music player to understand the sound differences. But there's also a live room where you can plug in your guitar or bass and get a real reference right away. There's the lab where they build the in-ears, and then the graphic labs for customization. This is not some improvised setup, it's a real professional laboratory, and you can feel the attention to detail from the very first minute. After some chatting and a good Italian coffee, Alessandro gave me a tour of the lab and explained how the in-ears are built and assembled, and what machines and techniques they use. Honestly, it looked super complex and futuristic, and I didn't understand much, but luckily they do. Once the tour was over, it was time to start making my very own in-ears. So, the first step was to try different models. NTS Audio has a wide range. Entry-level models, more affordable, but already great quality, that are perfect for those who want to start using in-ears seriously without breaking the bank. But then, there are the advanced models, with multiple balanced drivers, from 1 driver per side up to 12 drivers per side, offering an incredibly detailed sound, deep bass, present mids, and crystal clear highs. These are made custom to your own ear canal using an impression, so they fit perfectly, don't move, and they are super comfortable. Every model has its own personality and sound, which is key because there's no such thing as the perfect in-ear for everyone. There's only the perfect one for you. And as I mentioned, there's even a room where you can bring your own rig. So I brought my pedalboard and my guitar to to test the models in the most faithful way possible. After a few minutes of testing, I chose the Commander model, which has 8 drivers per side. My impression was of a very balanced sound, with present bass and highs that are never harsh. So basically almost linear, but slightly colored to make listening pleasant. Another thing worth mentioning is this is all handmade in Italy, with the same care and attention you see in fine lutherie. No wonder so many of the biggest Italian artists come to NTS for their in-ears. But the great thing is, it's not just for the big names. Anyone can go to the lab and have this experience. And if you live far away, you can do the whole process remotely using their website configurator, which I'll leave the link down in the description below if you want to experiment, complete with instructions on how to make ear impressions and send them in. Once I chose the model, it was time for the second phase, the most important one, the ear impression. Basically, they insert this special paste into your ear that hardens in a few minutes and perfectly reproduces the inner shape. It's a very strange feeling, like being underwater with your ears completely blocked. But that impression guarantees maximum fit, total isolation and absolute comfort. After a few minutes, they remove the impression and send it to the lab, where it's digitalized and prepared for precision work by computer. The third phase is the most fun, aesthetic customization. And here's where it gets crazy. You've got tons of materials and colors to choose from transparent to glitter finish to whatever. You can go really wild. And of course, I took that literally. Since I'm a huge car enthusiast and I love the color blue, as you can see, I asked for a black carbon fiber design with blue details, and they agreed. And not just a carbon look, but real carbon fiber, which is absolutely amazing. The attention to detail is insane, and the final result makes it clear that this isn't just any earphone, but a unique product made just for you. As if that wasn't enough, after choosing the design of the in-ears, they asked if I wanted to customize the case too. And what do? Do you say no? Of course not. They asked, do you want your name or a nickname, for example? And once again I pushed my luck and said, what if we put both my name and my logo? So, with the patience of a saint, they agreed and we moved into the graphic labs, where they made it right in front of my eyes. And what can I say? It turned out amazing. Once this last step was done, it was time to head back home and leave them a few days to actually build my in-ears. Or maybe they just wanted me gone because I was driving them crazy. Who knows? After about 10 days, the final product arrived at my doorstep, and it's here. I can't wait to see the final result. Even from the packaging, you can tell this is a premium and high-end product. So, without waste any more time, let's unbox it. And here they are. Wow. I'll take them out in a second so we can look at them up close. Here you have your user guide, and this is the case I showed you earlier. And yes, it looks fantastic. Here you have the in-ear themselves, and then you have this tiny little device that they explained me is for keeping them clean. But now, let's take them out and have a look. What can I say? They look stunning, absolutely stunning. I already know they sound great because I tried so many different models before choosing this exact one, but now I can confirm that they also look incredibly good as well. And as you can see, they do not have the usual rubber or foam tips. That's because being made with my custom ear impression, they already fit perfectly. One last very important thing I haven't mentioned yet, hearing protection. These in-ears have a -26 dB noise reduction, which means you can keep your listening volume low, protect your hearing and reduce fatigue even during long shows. Trust me, tinnitus is not fun at all and it takes very little for it to happen. If you don't believe me, just ask my buddy Luca Milieri. So, that was my trip to Milan to NTS Audio and the process of making my brand new custom in-ears. If you're a musician and want to take a step forward in your sound, comfort and hearing protection, I absolutely recommend considering professional in-ears, both standard and especially custom-made ones. It's an investment that will truly change your life on stage and in the studio. I want to give a huge thanks to Alessandro and the whole NTS Audio team for their kindness, professionalism, and patience with all my requests. As I mentioned earlier, I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to check everything out, including the online configurator to experiment designing your own custom in-ears. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you already use in-ears? Or have you ever thought about getting ones? Okay, and that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao!